Bengazi for pictures me no na me dey send no egusu. These are pictures are viral on social media. At the time we were getting ready to start the show, apparently the member of parliament for Aguna West constituency picture
yes.
Yeah, making rounds. Yes. What's the story behind picture way?
In fact, the information some people are telling us is that Cynthia Morrison may have withdrawn her candidature as an independent candidate, but we don't have confirmation.
You need confirmation.
We tried to get the majority leadership to get us information. They would not allow us. But Cynthia Morrison was in parliament. No majority office. In fact, picture here or social media. That is the majority leader.
Where Afenyomark office, no.
Yes. And that is where he met, he spoke with Agyapong and other persons. Yeah. They tried to have some back and forth on that. And so that is the information we are getting. But we have no confirmation yet.
But that confirmation will come when she sent an official letter to the Electoral Commission. So I withdraw the decision. But if these pictures are anything to go by, it's been a while we saw her in such hearty moment with the colleagues in Parliament, especially the majority leader and Honorable Kennedy Akompreko Agyapong. In the picture, and you see Eugene Boachi entry, Kennedy Agyapong, Afenyomark, lady no okay. Obani former MP, me say former Kumasi Mayor, Mama Patricia PJ, ewo na bema no jina say ne hwan ono nso ewo mi nti oba wo be hu omunyina omone Cynthia Morrison etwa picture. What it means we don't know. The yetete though and say we withdrawn the decision to want to go as an independent candidate. But I said the prima facie evidence I bet you say indeed that decision has been made. A letter or betro the Electoral Commission of Ghana. The train said in Yoma ABC Ako very interesting development in Ghana's parliament the whole of today. No, there is a bone of contention, and unfortunately Speaker making any comment about that. He only said Omu need the numbers to form a quorum for decision making.
Yes.
Yen himself from the case of Justice Abdullahi as Attorney General.
Yes.
The Supreme Court was clear in explaining 104, Article 104 of the Constitution. Say to make a decision in Parliament, no, ube here at least say 275 and awosha. Ube here 137 people. Now, wait to me, Eddie, make a decision.
About 137.5.
0.5, of course.
And it can be 137.5. It's a technically 138.
But Nipa no, Nipa half. I think the Supreme Court discusses, and I think they settled on 137 eventually. You know, so unyas a number now, you can take decisions. And this is here, Speaker Carr say, Omuni numbers to take decisions. No, is it half of 271 and a half of 275? And let's speak and I refer to. Say or refer to 275. Not just now he acknowledges say the status quo.
It remains.
Right. So refer to 271. Just no disregard the Supreme Court decision.
And then and if this analysis you've done is anything to go, it will mean that the Speaker now acknowledges that the order his hand has been stayed. That is that there's currently 275 MPs, and that is why they cannot be half. At least half of all MPs, 137, for the House to proceed to do business. But these are questions the Speaker of Parliament himself would have to answer, because he left a lot of things very vague, for obvious reasons, so that it's left for interpretation in terms of what other persons.
And one other thing, so they say was even though na minority for no akwatena majority side. Led by Dr. Casey Lato Forson. Speaker make comment be say why are they sitting there and moving through on call more original place? Or make comment be sir.
He did not. In fact, one would say maybe he took parliamentary notice, but he did not say anything about that. He just came in, they said the prayers, they said the pledge, and then he zoomed right into his official formal communication to the House. And so he did not say anything about majority, minority. Why are these people? In fact, he did not even allude to the majority MPs who have decided to boycott sitting as of this moment. He did not even allude to them. Although just 10-15 minutes prior to that, he had met Alexander Afenyo-Markin and his leadership. They had conversation. Yeah. And in fact, the kind of indication we are getting in that meeting was that the Speaker of Parliament said he cannot tell MPs to go and sit here or there. And
information when you're from some meeting.
In fact, and that was part of the reason why the majority MP said, anyway, we will not come and sit on the minority side, as that will be a tacit endorsement or acknowledgement that we have become the minority. So because of that, they also left. And that is the information I'm getting from some highly paid sources and some persons who were in that meeting. So he just zoomed in and then did his analysis on the fact that they did not have a quorum to take decisions. And then he said that on the basis of that, he's adjourning Parliament indefinitely. And this particular meeting, he has suspended it, adjourned the House indefinitely. It says there will continue to be talks. When there's any agreement and the House will have to come back, they will do so. It will mean that a lot of key government business, or 2 Supreme Court judges, their fate is now unknown.
And all the bills that would be affected. I know that there are some LIs and some bills as well now by contemplated, including even the free SHS bill. It means now a bill say they are likely to be affected. But I'm present say as we speak, do you know, say speakers were instructing the lawyers, say if they can also set aside the decision of the Supreme Court.
In fact, that was the indication we have been getting since yesterday.
Okay.
As of 3 p.m. yesterday, we had the indication that lawyers of the Speaker were at the registry of the Supreme Court trying to file. And then at some point, they were asked to stop by the Speaker himself that they should not file.
Okay.
In fact, this morning as well, an NDC MP, in fact, Dr. Dominic Ayine, told the Sister Media House that lawyers for the Speaker, Thaddeus Sori and his firm, were at the Supreme Court trying to file to stay the execution of that order of the Supreme Court. And they were trying to get that done.
Okay.
But we can confirm that as of now, no process has been filed by the Speaker or his lawyers.
Okay.
It will mean that the 7 days the Supreme Court gave them to file their statement of case in relation to substantive matter is counting up until Thursday. Then that will kick in, and then next week they would have to file the memorandum of issues, and then the case will have to be dealt with. But as of now, we can confirm, say, Speaker and the lawyers ain't filing any application in court. They have not filed any process at all as regards to the order that the court made.
Okay, and meaning, sir, if they don't file any such processor, and also would be an acknowledgement of
that order,
of the order from the Supreme Court. Wow, and that's really interesting. As we speak, no, the bills and LIs are buying business a bit suffer from this. What do we know?
Starting with the LI, the Supreme Court were hoping to lay an LI. It will guard the adjudication of presidential and parliamentary petitions.
Okay.
And we know that when it comes to LI, they would have to go through 21
sitting days.
As we speak, it's almost looking uncertain. Unless Parliament decides when they come back, whatever time they come back, to do a lot of sacrifice and sit to get that LI to mature. So there is that. There's another LI that the Electoral Commission wanted to also lay as regards to the 7th December election. That is also now on ice. When you come to bills, there's the free SHS bill. There is the EPA bill, a very key in terms of the IMF conditionality that was set for us. That has been reaffirmed several times by the majority leadership. Then there is the matter of LI 2462 or Mampinika so and we expected that it will be revoked last week.
The amount for mining in forest reserves.
They wanted to revoke it, but the whole of last week there was a lot of political issues. That LI did never come up to the floor, even though the AG had written to the Clerk of Parliament said the LI was ready and they were ready to do business, but it wasn't late. The expectation was that this week they would do something on it. That is also not going to happen because of the current suspension of the House. So when you look at some of those bills, those are the key ones. But there's also $250 million.
$250 million.
That is the Ghana Financial Stability Project. $250 million.
Parliament
that is also on ice now. There's also a matter of about $350 million worth of tax waivers, and also is currently on ice. That is also not being dealt with. And in fact, the majority side have been trying to get that through, but because they have not even gotten some of their members to support it, that is why they have been struggling. That is also on ice. And then finally, the matter of the Supreme Court nominees, 2 of them who were nominated by the president. The appointment committee have vetted them. The report, we understand, is ready, but because of this, the report has not even been laid. And then finally, the vote on appropriation. The budget for 2024, just the first quarter of next year, so that when the substantive budget, but for the first quarter, okay, the finance minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, was expected to come at the start of November to present a budget, the vote on a vote in lieu of appropriation for 2025 first quarter.
Yes.
But given what we have now, that is also suspect. And there are concerns that if you don't deal with this as soon as possible, you can have a government